The lesson continues.
Simulate. As the tributes stand on their podiums, the horn sounds. John grabs a shield leaning on the cornucopia. Emilio runs away from the cornucopia. Jordan and Stephen fight Jill and Julian. Jill and Julian survive. Vincent snatches a bottle of alcohol and a rag. Anthony runs away from the cornucopia. Riley runs away with a lighter and some rope. Carson runs away from the cornucopia. Jeremiah finds a bag full of explosives. Nick runs away from the cornucopia. Michelle sets an explosive off, killing Aniele. Ephraim runs away from the cornucopia. Kevin runs away from the cornucopia. Cole runs away from the cornucopia. Ty runs away from the cornucopia. Devian runs away from the cornucopia. Nicole grabs a backpack, not realizing it is empty. Scott clutches a first aid kit and runs away. Benji runs away from the cornucopia. Austin grabs a backpack, not realizing it is empty. Chris runs away from the cornucopia.
Simulate. Nicole runs away from Cole. Ephraim camouflages himself in the bushes. Carson searches for firewood. Julian tries to spear fish with a trident. Benji tries to sleep through the entire day. Anthony fishes. Scott and Kevin split up to search for resources. Devian and Austin threaten a double suicide. It fails and they die. Ty runs away from Emilio. Chris thinks about home. John hunts for other tributes. Jill, Michelle, Jeremiah, Riley, and Nick hunt for other tributes. Vincent bleeds out due to untreated injuries. Simulate. Monkey mutts fill the arena. Jeremiah survives. Benji survives. Kevin is pummeled to the ground and killed by a troop of monkey mutts. Nick survives. Ephraim injures Carson and leaves him for the monkey mutts. Michelle survives. Riley survives. Anthony injures Scott and leaves him for the monkey mutts. Chris dies from internal bleeding caused by a monkey mutt. Emilio uses Ty as a shield from the monkey mutts. Julian survives. Jill survives. John survives. Cole survives. Nicole survives. Simulate. Julian quietly hums. Ephraim Julian quietly hums. Ephraim silently snaps John's neck. Emilio attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful. Anthony questions his sanity. Cole dies trying to escape the arena. Nicole destroys Jill's supplies while she is asleep. Riley destroys Michelle's supplies while she is asleep. Benji lets Nick into a shelter. Jeremiah is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Simulate. Benji hunts for other tributes. Anthony searches for firewood. Emilio and Ephraim work together for the day. Julian makes a wooden spear. Nicole steals from Jeremiah while he isn't looking. Nick makes a slingshot. Riley diverts Jill's attention and runs away. Michelle tries to spear fish with a trident. Simulate. Ephraim questions his sanity. Benji convinces Michelle to snuggle with him. Nicole, Riley, and Emilio cheerfully sing songs together. Jill repeatedly stabs Jeremiah to death with sais. Julian sets Nick on fire with a Molotov. Anthony questions his sanity. Simulate. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tributes' families. Ephraim decides not to go to the feast. Emilio decides not to go to the feast. Nicole and Michelle decide to work together to get more supplies. Benji cannot handle the circumstances and commits suicide. Julian decides not to go to the feast. Riley decides not to go to the feast. Jill severely slices Anthony with a sword. Simulate. Nicole makes a wooden spear. Ephraim diverts Julian's attention and runs away. Jill, Michelle, Emilio, and Riley hunt for other tributes. Simulate. Michelle thinks about home. Jill and Ephraim hold hands. Julian sets up camp for the night. Riley begs for Emilio to kill her. He refuses, keeping Riley alive. Nicole cooks her food before putting her fire out. Simulate. Julian questions his sanity. Jill bashes Michelle's head against a rock several times. Nicole discovers a cave. Emilio hunts for other tributes. Riley injures herself. Ephraim injures himself. Simulate. Carnivorous squirrels start attacking the tributes. The squirrels separate and kill Ephraim and Riley. Julian survives. Emilio, in agony, kills Nicole so she does not have to be attacked by the squirrels. Jill survives. Simulate. Emilio and Jill sleep in shifts. Julian receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Simulate. Emilio collects fruit from a tree. Julian discovers a cave. Jill searches for a water source. Simulate. Julian, Jill, and Emilio sleep in shifts. Simulate. Emilio camouflages himself in the bushes. Julian receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Jill fishes. Simulate. Julian cooks his food before putting his fire out. Emilio loses sight of where he is. Jill screams for help. Simulate. Emilio runs away from Jill. Julian receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Simulate. Emilio convinces Julian to snuggle with him. Jill sees a fire, but stays hidden. Simulate. Jill goes hunting. Emilio discovers a river. Julian practices his archery. Simulate. Emilio dies from thirst. Julian throws a knife into Jill's head. Simulate. The winner is Julian from District 9.
There. Much better. Lesson learned.